Now it's time to focus on what was a scintillating weekend at the Rugby World Cup. Ireland and Wales both came up with big wins. England, they did it too and maintained their 100% record. Well, Eleanor Roper enjoyed it all out in France and joins me now. You're very lucky to have been out there. We've got to start with Eddie Jones, the man they all love to hate. Is he almost done as the Aussie coach?
Well, I think there's two parts to that. Firstly, whether after this World Cup he'll want to stay on, and secondly, whether bosses of rugby in Australia will want him to stay on. As you mentioned there, some of the criticism that he's been receiving, it looks like Australia are set to not make the knockout stages of the World Cup. It'll be the first time that's ever happened. Lots of criticism of the squad that he's taken to Australia. He's gone for youth over experience, and that's partly because he says he's been looking to the future. Australia will host the next Rugby World Cup, and he says it's about building towards that. But it's, you know, people aren't really buying it when they're losing games and you've got someone like Michael Hooper sitting at home. Added to that, there's this story which is broken in the Australian press, alleging that Eddie Jones has interviewed for a job in Japan just before travelling to France for this World Cup. Now, it's something that he denies. We can hear what he had to say to the press now.
Sorry, Eddie, just to go through it and then move on from it. Did you do a job interview with Japanese rugby a couple of weeks before the World Cup? And if so, what was the thinking?
I don't know what you're talking about, mate.
Eddie, do you have a second interview lined up with the JRFU?
I said I don't know what you're talking about, mate.
Can you give Wallabies fans your absolute 100% commitment that you will not be coach of Japan next year?
I'm committed to coach Australia.
Next year?
I'm committed to coach Australia. That
doesn't sound very definitive, Eddie.
Thank you. Next question, please.
Dave, this morning a story was printed that was very well sourced about, as you've been hearing about, maybe Eddie joining Japan next season, next year. He's already said it's not going to happen, but I just wonder, from the point of view of your team, what kind of psychological impact did that have on you today?
We didn't turn up tonight, so it's got nothing to do with the outside noise. It's just got to do with our performance. We weren't good enough.
I really take umbrage at the questioning, that people are questioning my commitment to coaching Australia. I really take umbrage at it. Yeah, I've been working non-stop since I've come here, and I apologise for the results. I keep saying that. But to doubt my commitment to the job, I think, is a bit red hot. So we're not going to deal with any of those questions any further. So I'm happy to talk about Wales. I'm happy to talk about Portugal. If you want to keep going down that line, I'll excuse myself. So do you want to decide what you want to do?
So Eddie Jones doesn't know what we're talking about, so let's clear it up for him. We spoke to the journalist who broke the story today. What did he say?
Never a dull moment, is there, where Eddie Jones is concerned? Yeah, I contacted Tom Descent from the Sydney Morning Herald. He came on Sky Sports News and he's sticking by his story. He says it's well sourced, but it is correct. And here's what he had to say.
My newspaper and I backed that story 100%. Our information is that Eddie Jones had a Zoom meeting with JRFU officials on August 25. So the timeline of that is 2 days before Australia's warm-up game against France and leading into the World Cup. So a very different picture to what Eddie Jones is telling the public, that he's committed to the Wallabies until 2027. He has denied those claims, but far from emphatic. He's been given multiple chances, particularly after last night's game, to say he is totally committed to Australia next year. Yeah, very much watch this space, I would say. I don't think anyone can dispute the facts and information. We don't publish this story for the sake of it or trying to have an agenda against Eddie Jones. It's absolutely not that. The facts of the matter are, and we totally stand by the fact that he met with JRFU officials, and this is a super tight meeting. Very few people know about this, so you can understand the sensitivities around it, given that Rugby Australia officials have asked Eddie Jones, is this true, and he's denied it.
Now, if you're Welsh and you're watching this, you'd be pretty annoyed that we're talking about Eddie Jones and not your side's performance. They were magnificent. Just put into words the job that Warren Gatland has done again for Wales.
You're right, and we acknowledge that. Wales were fantastic, weren't they? And, you know, you mentioned Warren Gatland there. He was appointed in December. A really poor Six Nations. They finished 5th. There was also a lot of drama, I think it's fair to say, off the pitch. We had player strikes, a lot going on behind the scenes with regards to contractual issues. So not the best build-up to this World Cup, but as you say, they have been fantastic. A big win over Fiji, another huge win yesterday over Australia. What a fantastic position to be in. They now qualify for a quarter-final with 2 weeks to spare and with 1 game to spare.
Yeah, indeed. They are in fantastic shape. And Warren Gatland did say, didn't he, they can win this and you wouldn't bet against them now.
No, I mean, they look brilliant. They look brilliant. We'll have to see, hey.
But if they're going to win it, they'll probably have to get past either Ireland and South Africa. What a game that was. Ireland won it. How much of a marker is that?
Yeah, it's funny that you'd think any other weekend we'd still be talking about Ireland, South Africa, but obviously Wales, Australia was huge. A massive, massive moment in Paris. World #1 against reigning champions. A huge, huge win for Ireland. They'll now take a break and they'll be looking ahead to Ireland, Scotland, which again is a huge fixture and something Johnny Sexton's saying they're not looking past that one either.
No, I bet they're not. Andy Farrell, again, what a great job he's done.
Yeah, as you say. An amazing build-up, really, for Ireland coming into this World Cup. Everyone's saying, you know, had they peaked too soon? But they just look fantastic. I mean, all the detail is amazing, isn't it, Mike? Could they go up against that South African power? They did, you know, an amazing display. But we know how tough that pool is. And we're looking ahead now to Ireland, South Africa, which is, you know, a huge game for both sides.
Ireland, Scotland.
Ireland, Scotland. Sorry,
yeah, that is key, isn't it? I mean, particularly for the Scots, I guess. But I mean, these games, the big games now keep coming. Just talk us through how important that one is.
Well, I mean, we touched on there how tough that pool is. So it's huge. I mean, if you're a Scotland fan, you would have been hoping that South Africa were going to do a number on Ireland. That would have made the pool easier. Obviously not happened. For Scotland, that is going to be a must-win if they want to get out this group. Ireland obviously giving themselves more leeway with that huge win over the world champions. But as I say, Scotland, it's not going to get much bigger than that. 7th of October.
And what about England? You and I spoke last week and we said, gosh, it'd be exciting if they had 3 10s on the pitch. They had 3 10s on the pitch and played some rugby. Do they look like they're building a bit of momentum now?
Yeah, I think confidence was definitely an issue for England. I think it's fair to say coming into this, and a lot of talk around their attack and how they were going to build on that. What would that look like? They've been trialling out Marcus Smith at fullback. He'd never started in a World Cup and he'd never started at 15. So that was a huge opportunity for him, them taking the opportunity to rest Freddie Stewart and to see what he could do. And boy, could he do it, hey? You could put the man anywhere and he can play. I think they'll definitely be pleased with how that went. Henry Arundel as well, getting his first World Cup start, 5 tries and a man of the match performance. But whether, when it comes to a quarter-final, for example, which looking like it could be England-Fiji, whether they're going to stick with those combinations or revert to kind of choices of old and maybe play it a bit more safe, be interesting to see what Borthwick does with that.
Because they won't get to play Chile again.
No.
Let's put it in perspective.
No.
Eleanor, that's excellent. Thank you very much.